Okay, I hope you got on quite well with your discussion in the discussion forum there. And what is good information? That was the question I asked you. Good information has to be relevant, complete, accurate, clear. So, and if you don't understand it, how are you supposed to use it? Confident. So, you know, the outcome has to be the information that's there, as in might or would or could or should, will, you know, this research will show. So you have to make sure that you know that you can actually use it. Obviously, it's got to communicate to the right person as well. So when you're doing your research and you're finding out something really great and good, make sure you talk to the right person. Yeah, make sure you're confident about it. Double check it if necessary. Obviously, you need to communicate it through the appropriate communication channel. So how does that work within your organization? Manageable, so don't have too much information, because you're going to be swamped, and your manager normally doesn't have time to deal with information overload either. It has to be timely, so timely then again relevant as well. Don't say when your deadline is the 10th of November, you give your information to someone a month later, because that's what they ask for. And yeah, so provided at a cost less than the value of the benefits it provides. So you have to make sure you sell the benefits of this information to your manager, so that they actually implement what you found out as well. Now, there's a lot of talk about customer databases, and I'm sure everyone does them because everything is electronically now, and you can easily collect customer data. And this means that you can read it, because people don't have to, you don't lose it as easily, and people don't have to do handwritten or electronically, and it's very sophisticated information that you have about your customers, their behavior, the demographics, their needs, their motivations. Some of the information you get through just everyday transactions like sales. Yeah. So how the invoice system. So maybe what bank do they use? Where do they live? Stuff like that. And other information might be gathered specifically. So if you do a customer survey, customer review, or if an airline, for example, asks about special requirements, obviously you collect some information about the customers there as well. If they're vegetarian, if they're on a special diet, if they're allergic to nuts, information like that as well. And then you can do a lot with this information, and there's a lot of analysis going on there. So you can look, where do your customers come from? Do they come from within the UK? Do they come from Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, England? They come from England. Where do they come from? Do they come from 50-mile radius, bigger radius? Do they come from the south, the southeast, southwest, places like that? Do they come from Europe? Where do they come from there? Do they come from, other international guests? Anything, where do they come from geographically? Frequency of purchases. So how often does someone stay in your hotel? Yes, how often do they really like Travelodge or any other hotel? Do they just stay there because it's convenient? Volume of purchase, how long do they stay? Do they just stay for a night? Do they stay for a couple of nights? Do they stay for 3 nights, 2 weeks, stuff like that? Rates of retention of customers. Are they returning customers? If not, why don't they come back? Are they very, profitability? What do they spend on when they're with you as well? Do they have breakfast when they're staying with you? Do they use any extra services to provide? And how price sensitive are they? Do they normally only come when you have a special offer on, or do they come no matter what? Even if the room is being sold at the normal price as well. And then the customer database. This means that the customer database obviously provides information on purchasing behavior, your loyalty, customer response as well. So if someone makes a comment, you can put that into your database as well. It only describes the what and not the why. So if someone books and then doesn't book again, you know that they haven't done it, but you might not necessarily know why potential customers and your not customers who don't use your establishments or your company at all, or your product. And just a few definitions here. I'm not going to go into them, but just for you to see what databases are. And basically, it's used for to store customer information and hopefully come up with some marketing strategies. Hopefully, you can see some patterns there as well when you pull out some of the information within your database. And it has replaced having piles of paper as well, because they're all electronically now. And then what you can do with them is, you can divide your market into certain segments. You can target them, you can position them there as well. You can obviously develop relationship marketing, so you can send out information to certain groups of customers, certain types of information to certain groups of customers there as well. You might have a loyalty scheme there, direct marketing, promotional strategies. You book with someone once, and then they keep sending you information on their offers. I find it very annoying because I constantly get something. Other people might find it interesting. Some of the stuff I find interesting as well because certain services I use more often than others, and if I use them and if I like the promotions and the information they send me, then obviously I use it. Others are just they go straight in the bin or in my virtual bin as well. Improve decision making. So there are a lot of things on how you're using your databases. Buying trends, market opportunities, and hopefully tracking customer complaints and satisfaction as well. So if a customer complains, you've got the information in your database, you can write that there as well, and then you can act accordingly or adjust your strategy accordingly as well. And you can see if they are just a one-off person who complains, or maybe if there's someone who always complains about your product or service. And then the marketing database, just a few things, there's customer orders, so if you order from Amazon, anyone, you've got your database there, you've got your account. Inquiries, loyalty cards, anything there, and sometimes you just feel a bit like Big Brother as well, because they seem to know everything about you. They use you for you can use them, your customers, for market research, so you can directly target them, because you have their details, and you know that they have used or they are using your product or service. And then you have a few issues. Is it legal? Do you have opt-in, opt-out? What are you allowed to use? Do you tick the box when you want the information? Do you not tick the box when you want the information? So, is the data compatible with the systems you're using? What software you're using? Are you using an old Windows program and you want to do a mail merge, and then your database is newer, or the other way around, you're using a new Windows program and you've got an out-of-date database program? Quality of the data, is the address still valid, for example? Do you have 5 records for one person? When I used to work for Eastern Borough Council, we used to constantly go through our databases, businesses and customers, just to make sure we did not have the same person so many times in different variations on this database, because if you then send one letter 5 times to the same person, they just think you're complete idiots as well. Excuse my language. You can have data overload, so you can have too much information. What's important? What do I need? What don't I need? How do I maintain and update my data as well? How often can you contact people? Transferring data, if you transfer data, there might be typos, someone might put something in the wrong address line, entries might be deleted, data protection, hopefully it's secure, hopefully no one can just access your data as well. And does it actually add value to your organization as well? So as good as databases are, as good as the data is that you have collected, there are a lot of issues surrounding data collection as well. And then, of course, data needs to become information. Raw data is great. Well, what do I do with it? And it becomes information when you obviously analyze it. You maybe put it into statistics, and interpret your findings, you present your findings, and you draw conclusions from them to then help adjust your marketing strategies, maybe keep your marketing strategies, and or come up with a completely new marketing campaign. And again, just a few further resources there.